Today I'm having Shin Ramyum with a little bit of Spam and a little bit of egg and green onion kimchi. So grab your spoons, grab your forks, grab your chopsticks, and let's get started. Okay. Let's take the first bite. I love having soup on cold days, cold and rainy days, because it just soothes your body and makes you so much more comfortable. So today I want to talk about being a stay-at-home mom versus a working mom, because I used to work. When my daughter was born, I didn't work until she was 1.5, but I worked when she was 1.5 until I was 6 months pregnant with my second baby. And then I stayed home with my second baby for 2 years, and I do real estate part-time. And life is so different when you go from working to staying at home. I feel like it's important for me to say that I don't think staying at home or going to work, I don't think either one is better than the other or one is easier than the other, because it's hard both being a stay-at-home parent and being a working parent. And whatever anybody can manage, more power to them. I mean, everybody's just trying to give their child a good life, and whatever you have to do to do that, I'm on your side. It was a huge transition for me to go from working to not working, because when I first started being a stay-at-home parent, I was 6 months pregnant with my first baby. And we just had moved, so I didn't really have any friends. It was hard to find things to fill my time. I mean, it was hard being pregnant too. It was nice to be able to nap, and I'm so thankful that I was able to stay at home and not have to worry about how I'm gonna pay the bills and stuff. So that part of it I'm super grateful for. And you guys must be thinking, oh, these are such first world problems. Like, I wish I had that problem, right? I mean, I just think it's important to touch on being a stay-at-home parent or a working parent, because that's my experience. So I just want to share that. with you guys. Oh no, my egg. The yolk was intact and now it's all busted. So, if you have a reliable place to bring your child while you work, I think that's definitely the preferred option for me, because nothing feels better than making your own money. I mean, let's just be honest. So that's just what I would prefer. But of course, when you just have a baby, they're so young and dependent on you that the last thing you want to do is leave them, especially if you're nursing. Which was my case. So I mostly couldn't work because I wanted to nurse my babies. And actually with my second, I did go back to work when he was 3 months old, when my maternity leave ended. And I tried to make it work. But if you remember in my other video, I said that when I went back to work, the second or third day, I was supposed to be training because I hadn't been working for the last 6 months. I was supposed to be training and there was a thunderstorm, so they kept me late, and the only reason why I was able to go home was because I ran out of milk for my baby. So that was the night that I realized my family and my baby was just way more important than any job, no matter how much it paid or what it was. So that's just the decision I made. It was to quit and leave my job and focus on raising my baby and making sure that he was well taken care of. I mean, you hear horror stories about babies being mistreated at daycare, and they can't communicate yet, so they can't really tell you what's going on, and the only way you'd ever know is if you saw it, or if you saw bruises or marks on them. And I don't know, it's just me, it's hard for me to trust other people with my baby. So until my child can communicate and tell me what happened, and if something bad happened, then I don't trust other people other than family to watch my baby. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking on parents that have to put their babies in daycare. I mean, it's sometimes necessary. Sometimes you don't have the means or family around to help you and you have to work. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, I totally understand that. If I had a preference, and I just didn't want someone to take care of my baby that I didn't know, or that wasn't invested, or just my blood, I guess, because I just trust my family more than anybody. But staying home isn't, I mean, I know it sounds great and it sounds like it's easier, but in all honesty, I think it's harder. I think it's harder to stay home all day every day. You don't ever get a break. And your babies are just more attached to you because you're with them all the time. So it's hard to get away, and it's hard to be away for a while. That's why you should always be sure before having a baby. It's a lot to consider. I mean, I definitely wouldn't take it back. I mean, I really enjoyed this time bonding with my babies and being the main caregiver. I don't know if you can see my cup, but it's a little dog Mason cup. Super cute. So today, my daughter didn't have school. I don't know about you guys, but does anybody else think all of this coronavirus stuff is just so crazy? I mean, I understand being cautious and taking precautionary measures, but what's up with hoarding toilet paper? I'm confused by that. But ever since we moved to this house, any chance that I can make my way down to Costco, and I see the toilet paper on sale, I always grab one or two. For the last 8 months, we've always been pretty stocked on toilet paper. I mean, not an excessive amount, not a hoarding. Don't have a toilet paper hoarding issue, but just enough to keep us stocked without me having to rush to the grocery store just to look for toilet paper. So I guess I've just been unintentionally preparing for an apocalypse. I mean, I don't know. It's funny because I already pre-plan keeping my pantry stocked and our antibacterial soap, our dish soap, our dishwasher soap too, and our toilet paper, our paper towels. I always keep it stocked. I mean, we're not gonna run out for a while. Just because, I mean, when those things are on sale, why not get them, right? If you have the space to store it, why not get them? And we shop at Costco, so you can only buy in bulk. And it's just nice to always be fully stocked and not have to realize we ran out of stuff and have to run out last minute. But I can't believe it. The last time I remember something like this happening was Y2K, and I think in 1999, before it turned the year 2000, and people were selling barrels to store water in. I mean, I was young because that was 20 years ago, and I just remember my parents buying 2 or 3 or 4 of these big barrels and nothing ever really came of it. I mean, it was a scam for sure. I hope that my daughter's school doesn't shut down next week. I mean, my family in Michigan already told me that the schools in Michigan shut down until April. So I'm getting kind of nervous, especially being a stay-at-home mom and having both of my kids home for who knows how long. I'll tell you what, I'm not hoarding toilet paper. I'm gonna hoard wine. Everybody can fight over the toilet paper. I'm gonna go to the alcohol section. I feel like that should be in every stay-at-home mom's survival kit, is a bottle of wine at least, and a wine opener. Because you can't do anything with that wine if you don't have a wine opener. I'll tell you that. I've come across that plenty of times to learn my lesson. The egg in this wasn't cooked all the way through, and it was perfect. But yeah, I think being a stay-at-home parent is probably the most difficult job I've had, but it's also been the most rewarding. I remember both times after I went back to work, after staying home with my baby for some time, and going back to work, I remember just feeling like it wasn't worth it, and just missing my baby, and knowing for sure that I would rather stay at home and have a hard day being with my babies than being at work and having a bad day there, hanging out with people who don't really care about you. You're gonna have good days and bad days, right? In anything that you do. But on the good days, being a stay-at-home mom, it just makes life worth it. You just kind of realize, like, this is my priority. And the days are long, but the years are really short. I mean, in the blink of an eye, my daughter's 6 years old. I don't know where the time went. I mean, she's such a big girl now. I can't even believe it. I look back on pictures of when she was a baby and it like makes me want to cry. And my youngest now, he's 2. And pretty much still a baby. I mean, he's my baby. But I look back at pictures of when he was like 6 months old and it makes me want to cry. Oh my gosh. I want them to stop growing. I mean, on good days, I'm like, I want them to stop growing. But on bad days, I'm like, please grow up, be self-sufficient. But someday, they're not going to want to stay at home. They're not going to want to hang out with me. They're going to want to go off with their friends and do things I don't approve of, I'm sure. It's funny, it's my birthday tomorrow, and I was texting with one of my oldest friends. I mean, I think I've known her almost 20 years. And we were talking about the stuff that we used to do when we were younger. And I was telling her, if I ever find out my kids like are gonna do the things that I did, ooh, I would kill them. I mean, it would be bad. And it's funny to talk about it and look back on it now, but it could have turned out real bad. The things I used to do when I was younger could have changed my whole life. It could have changed my whole adulthood. At least, because I know what I did when I was younger, at least I know how to keep a better eye on them. Because my parents didn't grow up in America. They are from Southeast Asia, so they didn't know what to expect or what to look out for when we were growing up. So now I know how to keep a better eye on my kids and keep them far out of trouble. I mean, I hope they make good decisions when they're older. Because the things you do when you're a teenager can alter your whole life, can affect your whole life in a positive or a negative way. So just always be careful and stay out of trouble and always try and do the right thing. You don't ever really think that far ahead when you're a teenager or when you're younger. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and most importantly, sane, for all those parents that have to readjust their schedules and try and stay home with their kids for an extended period of time. Hopefully this passes sooner rather than later, and please, I hope they don't cancel the BTS tour and their concerts, because I'm really looking forward to that. Anyway, let's see how it goes. I'll always remember this since my birthday is tomorrow, and how crazy things were But until next time, stay healthy. Mwah.